with the Allegheny Mile 11 channel. Hope all is well with everybody. Well, it's Sunday, May 22nd. Weekend before the long weekend, Memorial Day weekend coming up next weekend. Hopefully we have a little drier weather for Memorial Day weekend. We'll see. We had a nice Friday here at the Homestead. Saturday, just like last week, cold, rain, dreary. And then again today, it rained almost all day. It's about, I don't know, 4 or 5 now. So I'm trying to make up for some lost time today and get some things done. But I just want to make a quick video. Gentleman that I watch has a YouTube channel. You guys might even be subscribed to him. I don't know. His channel's JNULL0's. His name's John. He's over in the Appalachian Mountains in Ohio. He's basically across the range of mountains on the other side, on the Ohio side. We're on the Pennsylvania side of the mountains, and he's on the other side. But he started posting a video series about a old homestead that they're going to be taking down across from his place down in the creek where they live. It's been there over 100 years, you know, an old place. Sort of like the one right behind me. He posted his second video today. The first video was about getting started and tearing some of the structure down, but on the barns, the outbuildings, they didn't start on the house yet. But I guess he must have got a lot of flack in the YouTube comments about taking down such an old building and the historic structure and this and that and the other thing. Well, I mean, I can understand. You hate to see, well, the people who left comments have nothing to do with it, but you know, you always hate to see an old structure come down, especially if it's something that's been in your family for generations. This actually isn't his. It's just across from his property, and he's going to be taking it down for the gentleman that owns it. And it's just to that point, you know, it's starting to get really bad. Nobody lives there. He tried renting it out, and anybody that's ever rented to people know how that usually ends up. So they're gonna bring it down, and he's gonna salvage all the sheathing lumber and timbers and everything out of it that he can. So it's good. He's repurposing whatever he can out of it, and hey, in one way or another, it'll still be there, you know. It just won't be in the house that it's in right now. The reason I'm making this video is I have to do the same thing up here at the homestead. Behind me is the old home place. This was my great-grandmother and grandfather's house. They built this structure from the ground up. Nobody's lived in it for quite some time now. After they had passed away, my grandfather turned it into a duplex and had an upstairs and downstairs apartment. Just a 1-bedroom, living room, bathroom, kitchen deal, you know. Put a second kitchen in upstairs and the 1-bedroom over here, but it was just nothing but a problem ever. 2 of my brothers did live here for a while. One brother, when he first moved out, moved over to here. So, you know, it would have been good if it would have always been family, but a lot of the people that lived here, well, renters. That's all I gotta say. My brother, Scott, actually lived right behind me in the downstairs apartment for many years, and up until he was in his bad accident. I mean, this was always supposed to go to him. This was going to be his portion of the homestead, but he was in a really, really bad accident. A lot of brain trauma. He's disabled now. can't ever work again. That was about 20 years ago, but since then it's pretty much sat empty. This was always kind of his hope, was to fix this up, but he'll never be able to. He can't afford to. And I really can't afford to, totally rebuild the thing. I have enough problems dealing with the rest of the homestead and the cottage that we're going to be building and everything else, trying to keep up with everything. So I'm going to have to take this one down, unfortunately. And it's about to the point where I need to do it, or I'm not going to be able to salvage anything out of it because it's getting bad. The backside, I'll show you here in a minute, is really bad. So I can relate to not wanting to remove the structure. It stinks. This is generational up here. My kids are the 5th generation on this homestead. This is where my great-grandfather settled when he came over on the boat. And it's still in the family, and I hope after I'm long gone, the kids keep it in the family. But I guess it won't matter to me at that point, will it? So here, I'll show you the house and show you what I'm talking about. So here it is. I couldn't tell you what year it was built. This is actually the 2nd house on this foundation. When my great-grandfather got this property, this foundation was here. And then they built the house upon the foundation. There's really no record of how old it is, when it was built, or when it was built over. Well, I know in the mid to early 30s it was rebuilt. That's when they built this house. But if you look, this block, this is concrete block. This is the first original concrete block that they had come out with. So that puts that foundation around 1890s to 1900, I would say. And they actually used, you can see down here, that's cinder block there, which they don't use anymore. They haven't used in a long time. Not in a large amount, but they used the nice block everywhere above ground, and then they used cinder block below ground. You can see the foundation's really nice on it yet. I mean, there's some cracks. There's one there and one over there, but little back porch. Here's where the big damage is, back here. You can see she's pretty much toast. The roof's been bad for a long time. It's actually down to the octagon shaped shingles, which have been there for many, many years. But like I was saying about John, which by the way, if you guys have never checked out his channel, I would advise you to check it out if you're into the homesteading thing. He does a lot of neat stuff on a very limited budget. He has rabbits and some pigs and different animals up there, and he's really built his homestead over the years. It's pretty neat, so check him out, JNULL0's. He has a cool channel. I enjoy watching him, what he comes up with, and he's hilarious too. But yeah, check him out. So John, I can kind of understand what people are saying. I guess maybe they've been through the same situation as this. The reason this place has stood so long, like I said, this was my brother's hope. Oh, somebody's shooting something. And I really hate to take it down because I'm worried that he's going to kind of give up then. But to salvage wood out of it, I'm going to have to do it here. As you can see in this cross section back here, this house is actually framed. It wasn't a plank house. You can see up there the framing. 16-inch centers, and you can see all the wide sheathing that they used on it. So this whole house has that sheathing on it, which is probably southern yellow pine, I would imagine. And this is really the only bad sheathing is back here. So I am going to salvage as much of that as I can, because I could use that pine to make wainscoting and ceiling material, maybe even my cabinets down at the cottage. This over here are the two kitchens. They put them on the outside of the house, that way in the summertime you didn't get all that heat into the house. You could evacuate it out pretty easy. See, this chimney here was the cook stove chimney for the kitchens, and that's the coal furnace chimney up there in the center. They always put them in the center. So yeah, that's the one I gotta tear down. I guess I'm sentimental, I don't know. I really hate to see it come down, but like I said, I need to do it here soon, or I'm not going to be able to salvage much of anything out of it. Because if you look up here in the front, it's doing the same thing, and it's actually starting to leak down through the porch. So it's already started that process of going bad. Hope I'm not shaking you guys around too much. This is not the oldest house up here. I'll show you the oldest house. That would be my homestead. They lived in my house originally. That house is the oldest house. They lived in there originally. It didn't look like it does. You can see the original part where the dormer is. That front addition was done in the 40s. The sunroom addition above the garage on the right was done in the 70s. And the back sunroom was done probably in the 50s. And the top dormer was made bigger at one time or another by my grandfather. But it was a very small house. With all my great-grandmother and my great-grandfather and all the great aunts and uncles, including my grandmother, that were raised in that house. It got to the point where it was just too small. So that's when they built the one we call the old house, which technically isn't that old. I mean, it is, but my house is probably, oh, I bet you my place is a good 120, 130 years old. The original part of it. But, so that's the deal. This will actually probably be some video content this year by the looks of it, because I'm going to have to get on this thing. I wasn't wanting to do it this year. I was hoping to give it another year because I got so much to do around here, but I'm going to have to act fast on it. Yes, that's it. I just wanted to put up a kind of a video response for John to see. As far as that house that he's tearing down goes, you know, he's basically doing a job that he's hired for. Like I said, he doesn't own it. He didn't grow up there. The gentleman that owns it grew up there, and it's his property. He's doing what he wants to do with it, and apparently it's like this one. It's just time to go, you know. John's doing it to help him out, and he's going to get some building material out of it, like I'm planning on doing with this one. So I just wanted to say I know where you're coming from, John, and I know where some of the comments probably come from, but they really don't have any skin in the game. They're probably just thinking of past experiences for themselves, you know. A lot of people aren't sentimental about buildings and material items like this, but I am. Whenever it's your family history, you kind of, I don't know. I guess that's just the way I am, but I'm fortunate to have this place. You know, I got the original homestead over there. So, hey. And we're going to reuse the material. And I'm probably going to end up putting a big shop up over here where this is. So, the next chapter. Well, I think it's about it for this one. Like I said, go over and check out JNULL0's channel if you're into the homesteading thing. And he does a little bit of everything over there. And like I said, he's on a very limited budget. Well, we all are these days, but he does a really good job for what he has to work with. So, comes up with some creative ideas. And he's a pretty funny guy, so. If you like this video, hit the thumbs up. If you have any questions or comments about anything on the channel, leave it in the comment section down below. If you want to follow us on Instagram, you can follow us at Allegheny_mountain_living. I post small things on there from time to time. If you aren't a subscriber to the channel, hit the red subscribe button. You can follow along for future content. A lot of different things coming up around here. I'm sure there'll be some fishing trips and many projects. There's always no short of projects around here. Right now I'm just trying to get through the yard work stuff and all that. So that's about it for this video. I guess I'll see you guys on the next one. And until next time, have a good evening.